Welcome back to your vocabulary lesson. I hope the words that we learned last week were useful for you. And this week we've got a whole new batch to go through, so let's get started. This first word refers to someone who is friendly and talkative, sociable and hospitable. Basically someone who's good company. Somebody who people like to be around. Friendly. That person is convivial. Convivial. She was so convivial that even perfect strangers were soon sharing their life story with her. Convivial. This next word refers to someone who is noble in mind and heart, generous and forgiving, above resentment or revenge. A good person to know. That person is magnanimous. Magnanimous. After the car wreck, he showed he was truly magnanimous by not suing, even though the other guy was clearly at fault. Magnanimous. This next word refers to someone who has the manners of polite society. Someone who is refined and self-assured. That person is urbane. Urbane. While in mixed company, he was always urbane and polite, but when out with the guys, he could let out a belch as loud as anyone. Urbane. This next word describes someone who is in absolute poverty, without the basics of life, completely destitute. That person is in penury. Penury. When his father died, they lived in penury for 2 years, depending on the kindness of others. Penury. Now, this word refers to something that only lasts a moment, something that is short-lived, fleeting. It is ephemeral. Ephemeral. Her conversations with him were always ephemeral, just a few pleasantries, but he always looked forward to them every day. Ephemeral. This next word refers to something that exhausts you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Something that drains you completely on all levels. That word is innervate. Innervate. Working on the project was important, but it always tended to innervate him. He always took a few days off afterwards. Innervate. Now this word means to lash out verbally with fierceness, or to criticize severely. This is to castigate. Castigate. He felt the need to castigate the whole team after they lost the championship game. He yelled at them for an hour. Castigate. Not something you want to have happen to you. Now this word means something that is completely harmless. It has no adverse effect, It is innocuous. Innocuous. Luckily, the strange brew that she drank proved to be innocuous, and she did not get sick. Innocuous. Now this next word means someone who is given to the use of obscene language, someone who is indecent and abusive. They are scurrilous. Scurrilous. After she was fired, she let loose with a scurrilous flow of words that had everyone in the office blushing. Scurrilous. Now this word refers to something that is a trap with deceit, something that spreads harmfully but in a subtle manner. It is insidious. Insidious. The failure of the company was insidious. No one noticed it until it was too late. Insidious. Another good word. Now this next word is one of my favorites, but I hardly ever get to use it. This word refers to someone who is just learning, is a novice, someone who is just starting out. That word is abecedarian. Abecedarian. And it comes from learning the alphabet. You have A, B, C, D. The first letters of the alphabet. Abecedarian. After his first day of class, he realized how abecedarian he still was in history. Now, this word refers to something that deviates from the expected norm, something that is not as it should be, something that can be a surprise. It is aberrant. Aberrant. The test results were so aberrant that they were useless to her research. Aberrant. This word refers to something that is a signal or a sign of something to come, a forerunner, or a warning. That is a harbinger. 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 The mistake was easily corrected. He only hoped that it was not a harbinger of dementia. This is another great word. This means someone who is acutely discerning, someone who is perceptive, who sees right through something. That word is perspicacious. Perspicacious, which pretty much literally means to see through something. With his usual perspicacious nature, he knew she had good news as soon as she walked through the door. Perspicacious. And this word means someone who is full of joy in life, animated, spirited, basically fun to be around. That person is vivacious. Vivacious. The vivacious play of the children was the reason she loved teaching kindergarten so much. I think we all know people who are vivacious. Now these next two words both mean the same thing, and I had never heard of them before. And I think that it is so cool that our language has two outrageous words for the same thing. The definition is referring to light, playful banter, or a flippant repartee. Basically, a conversation that is lighthearted, isn't really serious, but is fun to have. These two words for this same thing are badinage, and persiflage. Persiflage. Those are just two awesome words. Badinage and persiflage, meaning light, playful banter. When meeting with a guy, she began with badinage until she knew he could keep up with her wit, and then she moved on to more interesting subjects. Amazing words. This word means something that has an agreeable sound, something that is pleasant sounding, particularly when referring to pronunciation and the way that people speak. That is known as euphonic. Euphonic. Her Scottish accent was euphonic and soothing even over the bad telephone connection. Euphonic. Coming into the home stretch here. This word refers to someone that is fox-like in appearance or actions, someone who is shrewd or crafty. They are vulpine. Vulpine. He played every game with a vulpine intensity, even if it was a game like Go Fish. Vulpine. And our last word for today means something that seems to be everywhere at once. Something that is like that is ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. He was proud to have bought the first smartphone in his town, but within a year they were ubiquitous, and everyone owned one. Ubiquitous is our last word. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. A whole new slew of words to learn and use. I hope you can add them to the words that we learned last week. And I will come up with a new set of words for you later. Thank you for watching. Have fun with your new vocabulary.